Welcome back to another video. I know some of y'all like this driving style video. I know some of y'all hate it. Some of y'all said y'all couldn't handle the audio on it. So I got my microphone out that I use during hunting season for my hunting videos, and I'll try that out and see how this works. A couple different things going on for the weekend. First, we got WrestleMania tonight. My daughter is really big into wrestling still. I can, when some of the older guys wrestle, I can still kind of get into it. Not really that into all the newer people. But as a kid, I was really, really into it. Fake or not, it still got drama to it. We all know it's fake, but I watched a lot of ECW when I was younger, and I don't know how you fake going through a table 2 stories up and thumbtacks in your back and all of the other goofy stuff that they did for ratings and different things like that. So, we got that going on. WrestleMania is tonight and tomorrow night. Trying to figure out what my kids want me to cook, and maybe I'll do a cooking video and put that on my other channel. I've been trying to do some videos on my other channel if y'all haven't seen that yet. Grumpy Dad Outdoors. There is a link in the description for that. If y'all can help me out with that, that is really struggling, but I don't update it as much as I do this one. This one I try to do a video at least every day, if not every other day, and y'all know how hard it is right now between my side business. I got my AMSOIL business. That's where I'm going to run today. I'm going to do some check a couple of my stores out real quick, and then going to the gym. Then I got to go to the office because I got to go move my SD cards. Y'all know we're testing out some Wingbits and Bit Harvest stations side by side. Last I checked, I'm really confused with some of the outcome on it. With the graphs and what the rewards or the points or whatever you want to call it on Wingbits does not really reflect what I'm seeing on the TAR 1090. So I don't know if I'm even going to do a video on it no matter who wins, because I just don't like that there's something else going on. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything undermined or anything like that. It's just that when you see one station's on TAR 1090 is getting more results, especially more messages, but that doesn't reflect in the graphs, and it doesn't reflect in the Wingbits dashboard on either one of the stations, I'm just a little confused by it. So I got that going on, so I got to climb on the roof of the building it's on and get. My next step is I'm putting 2 Wingbits only scripts which are on SD cards into both of those devices, and I want to do kind of like I guess you'd call it like a generic test or a placebo test or whatever you want to call it, where it's they're both sense caps, they're both 1090 antennas, they're the same exact antennas, same exact support brackets for the antennas, same length of feed line, both run off PO. They are identical stations, and I'm very curious to see when I have 2 stations running identical setups on the identical firmware. I'm betting I don't have identical results, and that would also go to show you that to some people it doesn't matter what you run, that you cannot do or cannot get or ascertain the same results that your buddy might be doing, depending on that I read that somewhere that pies and pi 4s will get a better result than, say, a Le Potato, and a Le Potato is going to get a different results than what a rock pie will, and a pi 3 will get not as good results as a pi 4. Pi 5 might be able to do better, and it's all about how it's crunching these numbers and this data coming from the USB, SDR, receiver, whatever you want to call it, packets, collisions, and different things like that. We know Wingbits has, because those guys came from the helium side, they have did something with their algorithm where the way it interprets the helium packets and stuff like that you're supposed to be getting better results with the helium packets. I can't run a side-by-side test with that, because you know what happens if you try to put 2 helium devices side by side. It's going to be bad, and I don't want to get any of my helium stations on the bad side of them. So, but all that's kosher and good with helium, because from what I understand, all they're doing is they're running that station like helium originally intended, where these manufacturers did some kind of shortcuts or something like that, and it's not as opened up as what some of these devices are, and that's what BitHarvest is doing. So we got that going on. While I'm running my errands, y'all know I got my DIMO running. Again, I can't be more thrilled with DIMO. Of course, you wish the rewards were a tad bit better, but it is what it is. One thing I do want to announce to everybody is that I got an email from DIMO yesterday stating that their suppliers are finally catching up on stock. One thing I've always said to y'all is I felt bad telling everybody that DIMO is kind of my #1 project right now as far as East and how I felt about it. I felt bad saying that because y'all couldn't get DIMO devices. Well, they're now stating that their stocks are catching up, and they're supposed to be getting orders out, and they're supposed to have shipments in by May. So if you order now, maybe they'll only be 4 or 5 weeks out. I don't know. Make sure you check and do your research on that. Make sure you do your research on all these projects we talk about. That's another thing. So I'm also running around with my Soarchain Motus right now. Y'all know I am got that going. You know, I think it's like we've said before, it's kind of pain in the butt to make sure that that's going. So I also have my NATIX running, and we're clocking with that right now. I talked yesterday about a big merger with NATIX and GEODNET. I think that's going to be a big thing. We'll see how that goes. So speaking of those other two devices, I now have learned that work is buying me a new vehicle. And my vehicle, they want me to get a pickup truck for some reason, which I'm not going to argue with it. You know, I can haul stuff and do different things when I'm bringing repeaters and radios and big antennas around and stuff. It was kind of hard. I do that RF stuff for work also, and it's kind of hard to get that stuff around in the Suburban sometimes. I'd have a whole antenna right here, you know, on this dashboard sticking out the back end. Some of these big antennas, these DB224s and DB420s and stuff, even if you crack them in half, they're still 10 feet long. So some of that stuff was crazy. So they gave me a pickup truck. Problem is we also put the GPS stuff for work is hardwired into these vehicles. Well, the new ones now go into the OB2 port. So now I'm like, oh hell. So now I gotta find a triple, three-way, whatever you want to call it, OB2 port plug. And now we're really gonna test it out, because I know some of y'all have said that you thought Soarchain was draining the battery. I'll be honest with y'all, ever since I set up both this DIMO Macron and this Soarchain Motus Mini, I have never had a drain battery problem. I've even gone 3 or 4 days when I was off of work and started my vehicle with no problem. I really think, and I've been told by some mechanics that I trust, that is more on the how the OB2 port controls power, that the OB2 port should know after some point when the car's been off long enough that I got to kill the power to it. I don't know. But so now I'm going to have, or attempt to have, 3 different devices connected to my OB2 port on my new vehicle. So I got to get on Amazon. I got to start, figuring that out. If any of y'all have tried a 3-way OB2 port with devices, maybe y'all have the same kind of stuff. I know sometimes insurance companies now, they give you a device that you have to plug into your OB2 port. I talked to my friend who's the mechanic about that, and he said, I asked him, like, what happens if y'all get a vehicle that comes in the shop and has something plugged in the OB2 port? He said, they just unplug it and put it in the cup holder, and it's up to you to plug it back in. They don't care, but they do see a lot of them now from the insurance company. So we'll see what a 3-way does, 3-way OB2 Port Splitter. Like I said, if any of y'all have attempted that before, let me know how it worked out. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, we're running off my AMSOIL business, cbsynthetics.com. And I always have a link for that in my description below. If any of y'all need, y'all got businesses, anything that needs motor oil, grease, or anything like that, 2-cycle oil, four-stroke oil, boat oil. Right now, we're just getting, end of March, beginning of April, we're getting into fishing season. I do a lot of business with motorcycle oil and with boat oil and stuff like that. Not as much two-cycle oil as they used to be because everybody's going four strokes, but it's very, very, our lower unit oil is very, very popular because it will handle up to like a 10 or 12% water contamination and still guaranteed to protect lower units. We have a water-resistant grease, trailer hubs and stuff. So I guarantee when I get to my shop, one of the Napas I'm going to right now, I guarantee they're going to be wiped out on motorcycle oil, and they're going to be wiped out on the boat stuff. And another thing is we have a two-stroke oil for lawn equipment and stuff like that. And I've had these lawn guys who tell me that they were going through a weed eater like every 2 years just from the everyday use of it. And I gave them a bottle of R2 cycle oil specifically made for that type of equipment. And they're one of my more reliable customers now because they're not having that issue no more, blowing out motors and having those kind of issues and stuff like that. We also have an ethanol treatment that they're also using in their equipment, and they don't have ethanol problems anymore either. So AMSOIL has a lot of products like that. I don't want to turn this into an AMSOIL video, but I know some of y'all have questions. Y'all didn't really know what AMSOIL was. And AMSOIL was basically a synthetic oil lubricant that started in the early 70s. I want to say 1972, 73, from a guy who was an Air Force pilot and was one of the first synthetic motor oils for vehicles. And then, Mobil 1 came, Pennzoil came, and that kind of stuff like that with it after that. But I've been using that stuff since the 90s. So back when you didn't have crypto and you needed some side income and different things like that, kind of passive income, you set up a website, different things. I go to some motorcycle shows and I did that. So that's enough on the motorcycle oil, stuff like that. I'm looking into some other projects. I got people who keep asking me about looking into different projects. I am looking into that, hoping I get some more time to kind of start delving into that. I have this fear also, though, that people know that DPIN and passive income is the new hot catchphrase, and people are coming out with projects just to come out with projects. And there is this fear of me that some of these projects, y'all know what we dealt with last year, but some of these projects are just bunk. I don't know. And that is my fear. I told y'all last night, I like these projects like, Wingbits to a point, but also your sword, your NATIX, your Silencio, these projects that don't cost anything to get into. Grass, I told y'all, somebody asked me earlier about grass, and they kind of had the same gut feeling I have. I don't know how I feel about grass, but again, just because I don't feel kind of strongly about it, I'm still in it. I still have my computers running that stuff, and I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna let it run until something tells me don't run it. I'm hoping I can go through those laptops this weekend and figure out which one's wrong. While I am working on those laptops, I am going to start running Curecoin. I keep telling you all about Curecoin. I'm very big on Curecoin. I will be doing a video very soon on Curecoin. I want to start getting that out to y'all. And Curecoin is kind of like, I'm not expecting any income from it. Yes, it does pay you income for those who are worried about that kind of stuff. I just don't expect big income from it. But it's a project for a good cause. And it's kind of one of those things just makes you feel a little bit better. Hey, we're greedy about some of these crypto projects. We'll make money. So Curecoin's kind of our way of giving back. And if it helps research and helps cancer and helps Parkinson's and helps Alzheimer's and different things like that, why not run it? So we'll see what a three-way does. Three-way OB2 Port Splitter. Like I said, if any of y'all have attempted that before, let me know how it worked out. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, we're running off my AMSOIL business, cbsynthetics.com. And I always have a link for that in my description below. If any of y'all need, y'all got businesses, anything that needs motor oil, grease, or anything like that, two-cycle oil, four-stroke oil, boat oil. Right now, we're just getting, end of March, beginning of April, we're getting into fishing season. I do a lot of business with motorcycle oil and with boat oil and stuff like that. not as much 2-cycle oil as they used to be because everybody's going 4 strokes, but it's very, very, our lower unit oil is very, very popular because it will handle up to like a 10 or 12% water contamination and still guaranteed to protect lower units. We have a water resistant grease, trailer hubs and stuff. So I guarantee when I get to my shop, one of these, the Napas I'm going to right now, I guarantee they're going to be wiped out on motorcycle oil, and they're going to be wiped out on the boat stuff. And another thing is, we have a 2-stroke oil for lawn equipment and stuff like that. And I've had these lawn guys who tell me that they were going through a weed eater like every 2 years just from the everyday use of it. And I gave them a bottle of R2 cycle oil specifically made for that type of equipment. And they're one of my more reliable customers now because they're not having that issue no more, blowing out motors and having those kind of issues and stuff like that. We also have an ethanol treatment that they're also using in their equipment, and they don't have ethanol problems anymore either. So AMSOIL has a lot of products like that. I don't want to turn this into an AMSOIL video, but I know some of y'all have questioned. Y'all didn't really know what AMSOIL was. And AMSOIL was basically a synthetic oil lubricant that started in the early 70s. I want to say 1972, 73, from a guy who was an Air Force pilot and was one of the first synthetic motor oils for vehicles. And then, you know, Mobil 1 came, Pennzoil came, and that kind of stuff like that with it after that. But I've been using that stuff since the 90s. So back when you didn't have crypto and you needed some side income and different things like that, kind of passive income, you set up a website, different things. I go to some motorcycle shows and I did that. So that's enough on the motorcycle oil, stuff like that. I'm looking into some other projects. I got people who keep asking me about looking into different projects. I am looking into that, hoping I get some more time to kind of start delving into that. I have this fear also, though, that people know that DPIN and passive income is the new hot catchphrase, and people are coming out with projects just to come out with projects. And there is this fear of me that some of these projects, y'all know what we dealt with last year, but some of these projects are just bunk. I don't know. And that is my fear. I told y'all last night, I like these projects like, Wingbits to a point, but also your sword, your NATIX, your Silencio, these projects that don't cost anything to get into. Grass, I told y'all, somebody asked me earlier about grass, and they kind of had the same gut feeling I have. I don't know how I feel about grass, but again, just because I don't feel kind of strongly about it, I'm still in it. I still have my computers running that stuff, and I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna let it run until something tells me don't run it. I'm hoping I can go through those laptops this weekend and figure out which one's wrong. While I am working on those laptops, I am going to start running Curecoin. I keep telling y'all about Curecoin. I'm very big on Curecoin. I will be doing a video very soon on Curecoin. I want to start getting that out to y'all. And Curecoin is kind of like, I'm not expecting any income from it. Yes, it does pay you income for those who are worried about that kind of stuff. I just don't expect big income from it. But it's a project for a good cause. And it's kind of one of those things just makes you feel a little bit better. Hey, we're greedy about some of these crypto projects. We want to make money. So Curecoin's kind of our way of giving back. And if it helps research and helps cancer and helps Parkinson's and helps Alzheimer's and different things like that, why not run it? Look at this classic just rolled up in here. I wanted to get a video of it for y'all. Old Cadillac. Look at that. Great shape. All right, so we're leaving our Napa. Pretty good results. Empty shelves. Empty shelves for me is always a good thing. So I had to restock our stuff and moving on. So I also wanted to hit on Silencio, a problem I'm starting to see that I did not see before. It happened just now while I was over here walking around. Is you're running the Silencio app. This happened to me the other day in the restaurant also. You're running it, doing its thing. Somebody calls you, or one of your apps or something alerts you, a text message or anything. You can't control that. So you go and you handle your phone call, you go and handle your text, or you go and handle whatever app it is that is alerting you for something, you check it out. When you go to Silencio, the whole thing is closed and it's basically reopening. And when you've been doing that for 25 minutes or something like that, that kind of sucks because you've lost all those readings, all those measurements, all those points. And I didn't see this before. I don't know if this is a recent update or what's going on with it, but I never saw that before. And it just happened again while I was doing this. I had my phone sitting somewhere while I was working on these AMSOIL products and stuff at this Napa, and my wife called. I got to answer the phone. Right when I go back to Silencio, usually it would stop and say the microphone is in use. And then you could just, take your points at that time. However, now it doesn't do that. Now it's completely closed out. So when you hit the Silencio app again, it just reopens brand new, and you don't have any points for the last 25 minutes of sound readings you took. So I'm hoping that I've saw some people complain about that in the Discord also. I'm hoping that that's something that they can fix. Because I like running Silencio. I think it's an easy, fun little app. We hope it turns into something. We don't know. It's another project that we hope we get compensated for. Another thing I want to hit on is Bit Harvest. Bit Harvest has AMA coming tomorrow, which will be Sunday. It is 12 o'clock Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock my time. Y'all know I'm very big into those guys, but 11 a.m. is church time, so I can't promise I'll be in it. I'm hoping that they will record it, or if I end up going to church this evening or maybe early tomorrow morning, I'll be able to catch that. But 11 a.m. on a Sunday, guys, come on. I love y'all to death, but that's, like a little kid. When little kids, we used to watch Saturday morning cartoons. I wake up early in the morning with my coffee, and I watch old westerns and stuff now. It's funny how things change when you get older. And, I like Wells Fargo and some of them shows like that, those old western shows. And y'all cutting into my westerns times now, or church time. So I know y'all don't want to do it too late, maybe because people got stuff to do on Sundays. I don't know. No matter what time you pick, somebody's going to have something to say about it. It is what it is. But for those who are into Bit Harvest or have questions about, that thing, those guys in there, you'll know I'm very big on AMAs, and that'll be something cool, at least to tune in tomorrow, see what's changed, see what updates they got going on. I know they're very active in Discord. They're listening to everybody who has downloaded it. Y'all seen my videos. I've downloaded it, and I'm very eager to get them on board with some lip potatoes. I have a lip potato I am sending to the guy in charge of that project just so he can get that running. I know a lot of y'all are running this on lip potatoes and stuff. So just a lot of things going on. All right, so one of the last things I wanted to discuss was Wingbits has a YouTube video coming up discussing the new heat map and stuff like that. I am eager to hear them kind of discuss that more. I told y'all yesterday that I like how I'm seeing what my account's doing with these hexes and different things like that. So I am eager to see that. Also, one last thing is one thing that I really don't mention much is Luna Classic. I'm very big into Luna Classic. I was watching it as it crashed years ago, and I was buying it on the way down. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all I bought it at the absolute bottom, because I moved, y'all knew I had a Litecoin miner, and I was moving some Litecoin into that. So when it fell from hundreds of dollars to $1 to 50 cents, I was buying a little bit at a time thinking it would stabilize, and then it went to like 5 or 6 zeros. And when it was finally stabilized, and it looks like it's just about to start to go back up, I want to say I might have a total of $200 into it. Today, that's worth several thousand, I think, last I checked. I've never seen a blockchain project. Look, I've seen some hostile projects out there, but usually against each other. XRP versus Cardano versus these other ones, where inside of that blockchain, you have people who generally want to do what's best for it. I watch Happy Caddy Crypto YouTube page, and he has a validator. I want to say 15 to 16 million Luna Classic staked. Y'all know that I take 25,000 of my rewards for staking, which is about half of it, I think, maybe a little bit less than half of that. And I burn that every first or close to the first of the month to help with the staking, with burning and stuff like that. Because for Luna Classic to ever get anything close, even to get to a penny or a dollar, we have to burn 3 trillion coins. I look at it as if everybody was staking would take some of their rewards and burn it, we would do a chunk of burning. And right now, you're not seeing that. We know that Binance burns a lot. But it seems like whenever there's starting to be a lot of volume happen and price goes up and more volume happens, they want to increase the burn. And then when volume goes down, oh, we need to decrease the tax, the burn tax and stuff like that. No, the reason volumes change is not because of what the taxes are. It's because of the volume. And I don't know why people find it so hard to understand. But one of the videos I watched today is apparently there was some kind of court case against Luna 2.0. And I don't know if they're being ordered to shut down or that project's being closed down or something like that. I watched a little bit of Happy Caddy Crypto's video earlier, and they're thinking some of those people might be coming back to Luna Classic. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm not for the repeg of USTC because I think too many people lost their money. They'll never trust that again. But you know, they're trying to figure out why or how to get people to build on Luna Classic, and that's because it's so volatile that the nobody in that project can get along, and it's almost like it's split. So I don't know if y'all are in Luna Classic at all. I think this is not financial advice or anything like that, but Luna Classic might have like 4 zeros right now in front of it. I think when it falls to 5 zeros, I think it's a good buy. I don't really buy any because I feel I'm gaining and I'm staking all that, and when anything I gain through staking, other than the 25,000 I burn, I just restake it, I compound stake it, and just keep staking it again. A lot of my stuff staked with Happy Caddy Crypto's validator, and I also stake maybe with 1 or 2 other validators just so it's not all in the same place. But about 75% of mine is staked on Happy Caddy Crypto. Last I knew, I was getting like 17, 18, 19% staking with it. I don't know. It don't really tell you the percentages anymore. But like I said, I know I'm doing, don't quote me on it, close to probably 50, 60,000 LUNC maybe a month because I burned 25,000 of it. And I know I have more than half of that still restaked. So I don't know. But this is a project that, in case any of y'all want to degen into something, Luna Classic is still alive. Still people are working on it. Tokens are still being burned. It might not go up to a penny this bull run, but to me, it's a long term. It's something I got into 2 years ago. Again, it's staked. 21-day holding period. I can't do anything with it if I start panicking. And it's one of my long term holds that may be long term. If they keep burning and doing the stuff they're doing, maybe one day it's worth a penny or something. You know, I don't know. You know, if it ever gets to 10 cents, I'll have $1 million. Something like that. 8 cents. I don't know. I don't remember the math, but just something else for y'all to think about in case y'all see or hear me talk about it. At one time, I had the little Luna Classic icon on my screen name that y'all see, my little thumbnail and stuff like that. But other than that, unless something else comes up, this was my rambling driving video. I hope it wasn't too long by the time I put all this together. But y'all have a great weekend. It's beautiful out here. Got the big eclipse coming up. Y'all don't want to hear my negative, harsh comments on that. I'm so sick of nothing can happen in the country or the world without it being some kind of conspiracy theory, and all these people panicking about their cell phones are going to go out and it's going to be an electromagnetic storm and it's the end of the world, or the government is building special complexes to house people because something horrible is coming. I'm like, God, man, you know, if y'all took that same energy just to make yourself better and the world better, it'd be a great place. But everything to people has to be a conspiracy theory. The Baltimore or the Maryland bridge and the AT&T outage and everything's a conspiracy. And it's sad that people have to live like that at this time, because we had some conspiracies years ago that turned out to be true, but that doesn't mean every one of them is true. But y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all in the next video.